Okay, so welcome to this video for COMP3218, Game Design and Development at the University of Southampton. My name's Dave Millard, I'm one of the course lecturers, and in this video we're going to be having a look at the first four courseworks that were handed in for our first piece. I'm joined with two colleagues.
I'm Tom Blount, I'm one of the lecturers on the course.
And Adrian Chapman, also in the course.
So, Tom, do you want to just say a little bit about what we asked the students to do for this first piece?
Yeah, so for the first bit of coursework, we asked the students to design a small game prototype, which had an interesting core dynamic, and we wanted them to have a way of teaching the player how to play their game.
Cool. Okay, so let's get on and have a look at the first game, which is called?
The first game will be Xtreme Maze Cube 4D.
Right, so here it comes.
Okay, so we have a nice little title screen.
Yeah, I like that.
So we've got start tutorial, start endless, and start time trial.
So I guess we'll do the tutorial to start with.
Yeah, let's jump into that
and see how that goes.
Oh, they've even got a loading screen. Look at that presentation.
All right, so normal keys.
Yeah.
So if I
Okay.
oh, that's nice. I like the way they disappear when you. So when I press S. Okay, so that's working, right? So presumably I can roll about. Yeah. So.
Okay.
So that's fairly simple. In terms of control, it's the angle of the camera makes it quite hard to tell what's flat.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
So I like the way that their sort of tutorial level forces you to collect two of those. Are they little gems? They look like gems.
yeah, I think so.
Two of those gems to start with, and you get the nice ding, the big counter at the top, so you know that you have to go and collect the other two as well.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. So in fact, yeah, you kind of don't have a choice really because they're on your path, aren't they?
But yeah, the first two are, but then you have to sort of decide which.
Right.
I see what you mean about the camera angle, though. That.
Yeah, I can understand why they've done it, but for some reason, so that's the angle now is the neutral angle.
Yeah.
And it feels to me like it's tilted towards the camera. Ah. So it's just the problem with me controlling it.
Gently does it. Almost.
There you go.
There we go. Level complete.
Okay. Aha. Oh, there we go. So
okay.
E
Interesting.
and Q.
So now that rotates the other way.
And what's this over here? So there we go. So I can spin the cube. All right. Well, that gets rid of my I don't like the angle problem.
Yeah, it does.
And then E and Q rotates.
Okay, they just go sort of by 90-degree chunks.
Okay, so that's quite helpful.
That's nice. And again, they don't introduce that until it's actually useful to you.
So what I've basically got is a 3D version of the.
Could you do a test and see if you change via the 3D rotation, if the keys still change up, down, center, right, left, right for you, even if you are reoriented the cube?
So that always goes back. I switch. Yeah. So always. Yeah. It always. What happens if I?
Yeah, if you move
if I have a funny angle like that.
Yep. Oh, it always reorients for you.
It snaps back. Okay. All right. It's quite fun. So let's go off the
we've gone up from having to collect five gems to having to collect 30. So this could take a little bit of time.
Right. And there's a little arrow that appeared there to show me to go off the side as well, which is quite nice.
And then it automatically flips around as well.
Yeah. So I still... Yeah, this is going to take a while, isn't it? So I still have a kind of... the angle it snaps back to is this angle.
Yes.
And it just feels to me, yeah, like that doesn't feel flat for some reason. I'm not quite sure what would. Maybe
especially since you need to see that there's other parts of your cube that are covered in maze.
Maybe like perfectly top down.
Yes. It's obvious why they've done it.
Yeah, so they can sort of see.
So otherwise you wouldn't be able to see the cube. Alright, this is actually going to require me to think about how to solve this problem. Where am I going? So there's one in there. I can go down. Oops, I can go that way maybe.
So this is interesting. I was going to say that I quite like the fact that it sort of snaps back because it stops you losing which face you're on. But
yeah, so that's a problem. So to actually make it go round to this angle, I have to press the keys.
yeah.
So I have to press E and Q. So if I was on E and I turn round, what I want it to do is to snap to that point, but it goes back to the other angle.
So the mouse is only for viewing, and the keys are only for movements.
But I have to say,
It's nicely presented.
it's very nicely presented. It looks really good.
Even just the animations in the background, right? They sort of
Yeah,
there's just enough there that it sort of like stops the screen sort of stops it being sort of dead and boring in the background, but it doesn't distract you from the puzzle you're trying to
a
complete.
little bit of transcendental music as well. It's nice.
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to have a go at controlling it? Shall I
Let
Tom take over?
I'm really terrible at this.
No, this is where the competency happens, Tom.
Oh, you're running on top of the maze there. That's interesting.
Yeah, they've made an interesting choice around the edges.
Yes.
So I can't. Yeah, I can't.
Because
Go-
you can't go off.
Because there's like an invisible barrier there. Otherwise, yeah, you'd end up running on top of the walls, I guess.
I was saying I was on top of the wall. I just can't go over the edge of it.
Yeah. See, what I've done is I've grabbed all the easy gems and handed you all the really hard ones to get.
Which makes it a little bit tricky to sort of spot where I can go off the edge, but
Yeah.
it's not too bad.
So, okay, well, let's start thinking about this. So one
I-
of the things we said we'd think about was the kind of the overall quality. I guess we've already said a few things about that.
I mean, there's not a whole lot else to add. It controls quite nicely. It looks very nice. The music's very nice.
Yeah,
It all sort of comes together to sort of give quite a nice.
and,
little
and it's
experience.
definitely playable.
It is.
Oh, I missed one.
I think there's, other than the problem with the slight problem with the perspective, which I'm not entirely sure how they could have solved. Like you said, unless they went for the directly overhead.
That's it, I think-
approach, but
Yeah, it's more a design choice that we don't necessarily agree with than something that's definitely wrong.
I think so. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's think about the key part of this brief was to try and create something which had that tutorial part in there, and I think they've done a pretty good job with that.
I do. I think I agree.
So I say I think this is still tutorial level, right?
It is.
I think that's a dead end because the other options were is there a timed mode or an endless
It
one?
looked like an endless.
I don't think I'd like to do this on a timed mode. Oh no.
Yeah. But they did some nice things. So they've integrated it. There's not reams of text.
Mhm.
They just had some little prompts come up. It's very obvious when you hit the key, the resulting action. That's a very clear.
And those prompts only
Connection.
come up when they're worthwhile. So they don't tell you about rotating the whole cube until
No.
there is a cube to rotate.
And I think getting rid of them after you've done them as well makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And actually, they've also done a little bit of teaching with that level design. That very first level, the fact that it isn't a cube, kind of gets you used to just moving around. The fact that there's effectively one route, so you have to pick up the gems as you go. So you kind of automatically see that happening. You see the counter at the top click up when you do them. So, I mean, it's a fairly intuitive design anyway, but I think they've done a really nice job of introducing you to those kind of core systems.
Agreed. I think the only negative on that tutorial part is the number of coins, particularly in a tutorial mode on this
Yes.
level.
Yeah, the
it
jump
would be
from
nice
5 to 30 is...
Yes, and it'd be nice to kind of learn what you want to do, and then get on to the main game. Whereas to collect all the coins, we are now in tutorial for quite a while.
On the other hand, if it was 5 on just one face of a cube, then it makes sense that there's 30, because it's about 5 per face. And if
Yeah.
there were less than that, then it would be a very sparse maze.
Yes.
So maybe it's okay that there's that, because at least that way it feels like you're making progress.
But no pressure on it, Tom, but I think we need to collect all the coins, because I'm wondering whether there's any other mechanics that they're going to introduce on the next
Yeah.
level. So, and if there were, I think that might be a problem, because there's an awful lot.
I think I am getting a little bit stuck now.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, and as you said, for a kind of a learning stage, it does go on quite a long time. Yeah. But I think in terms of the tutorial, perhaps other than length, a really nice job. So what about the kind of core dynamic? So they handed in some notes with this. What did they say the core dynamic was?
The core dynamic for this game is collection, which I think we can actually see very clearly with the collection of those gems.
Yeah, that's fairly obviously a collection. I suppose there's some other elements to it. There's a
Spatial reasoning.
spatial reasoning element.
But they've definitely chosen to emphasise that collection aspect by having sort of like, well, I mean, obviously for that being the aim of the game, but also sort of the nice little dings you get every time you get one of these gems.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. I think they've done a really nice job with this. So in terms of fun to play,
It is quite fun. It's nice and simple. I think it's going to get a bit grating when I get to 29 of 30 and I can't get that last gem.
yeah.
But other than that, yeah, it's relatively fun. It controls quite nicely.
I mean, I'm kind of wondering. It feels to me. So obviously, it's a very classic kind of maze design, right?
What's that last gem?
There you go. There's two down
Two
there.
on.
All right, how do I get there?
So if you've got to go right the way around, I think.
Yeah.
I think I can go.
So obviously, it is a very classic design, and the notes say that this is all procedurally generated as well. So
Which is fairly impressive.
which given the effectiveness of the levels, I think is quite impressive.
It'd be nice to know, yeah, exactly sort of how they've done that, but that'll come up more in a later coursework, I think.
Yes. But it does feel like it's maybe lacking a little something in terms of kind of giving it some sort of impetus. I mean, maybe that's because we are still in the tutorial level, and if we had that time mode, you'd have a bit more sense of urgency.
Yeah. So, I tell you what, as I think I'm not going to manage to get these last gems. Do you want to sort of?
Should we try restarting it with
Yeah. Let's try
restarting
one of the
it
other modes.
and try one of the other modes so we can see how it does. Let's do that. Right, so we'll reload the game. Okay, here it comes. I'll let you carry on, Tom. You enjoyed this so much.
So let's not do endless.
Endless mazes, I suspect, will be like the tutorial.
Yeah.
Let's do the time trial. Okay. Alright, we've always got a bug there. That's a shame. Would have been nice to see that. Okay, I guess let's reload. We'll try the endless mazes one just to see if it's any different.
I suspect it's just a case of you collect all 30 and then you have to collect all 30 again.
Yeah,
and so
which is fine.
I
think one of the things we were very clear of with all of these pieces is we wanted the scope to be fairly small.
Oh yeah.
So okay, yeah, it's exactly the same, isn't it?
Okay, good.
So
So
I think
there's no mechanics we've missed.
Yeah, that was my main worry. Okay, so I mean, I think in conclusion, a kind of a really nice example of a simple game with an effective tutorial. Maybe could do a little bit more to kind of to
drive the player.
to drive the play, to give you a bit of momentum. But yeah, good job, I think.
Excellently done.
All right, shall we move on?
Okay, let's move on. Right. Okay, so it's time to look at the next game. So this one is called
Running Man.
Running Man. All right, let's load it up. So we're using the WebGL version of these. So sometimes they take a bit of time to come in.
This game is intended to practice the core dynamic of chasing or evading.
Hit the space to jump over gaps for excruciating.
Oh, there we
Oh.
go. Excruciating death.
So I did actually press the space bar. Press R to restart. Okay.
That
So
looks like a very small jump.
it's also a bit of it's a lag. So so let's have a look. So press jump.
Oh, that is...
That is a lag. So press. No. Wow. All right.
Do you want to... Is it possible to ask us the web build? Do you want to try it in?
It might be. There we go. Kind of. That is a big delay. Okay, so it's endless runner style. Ah. Does anyone else want to have a go at this?
Let's give it a go. Oh, no.
Alright, I get to try now.
Alright.
Okay. Well. Yeah,
So I wonder what happens beyond this. If there's
You see the
anything
problem.
beyond. Whoa!
I have a
never gonna
feeling
get
we're
beyond
never
this.
going to know.
Alright, here we go.
I have to say, I like the music. That's great.
I do.
It works really well. It's got the right sort of tempo. It doesn't quite match the pace of the game itself. It's quite a sort of lethargic endless runner, isn't it?
It's
Yes,
more like an
he's-
endless jogger, really.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
definitely jogging.
Endless jaunt. But it is. I mean, it's definitely playable. Maybe they were going for the Flappy Birds effect, where it's just so incredibly difficult, and that's what keeps you coming back for more. Ah!
I would also love to restart where I left, so that I could see more.
Yeah, I think for a demo that would be quite useful, wouldn't it? Ah, no. Okay, that's so. What do we think about the presentation of this?
I mean, it's very simple. But you don't need a whole lot more than that from an endless runner. It'd be
No.
nice if maybe there was a skybox or something just to sort of like give us a sense of.
Yeah, it feels that it's very flat, isn't it? But
It is.
the little animation. Oh god.
So looking forward, since we haven't been able to get to it, I believe there are further levels where there's moving platforms and
Really?
avatars speeding up and down.
So
We just haven't succeeded in gaining those privileges yet.
Okay. Should we try the Unity build
Let's
and
try the
see
Unity build because
and see if that's going to be better? All right. Let me stop this one.
yeah, other than the slightly sticky controls in the web build, I think the quality's okay. So obviously there could be a lot more polish applied to it, but for just a small sort of like the minimum working prototype of making your endless runner working, seems alright.
Yep. Okay, so we're back. So we did have a go at running this in the Unity editor, and we had a few problems with assets and things. But what we could do was we could show that that delay on the jump was the same. So we are going to come back and we're going to try and do our best to make it in the web build, because that actually seems to load everything.
Because there also definitely seem to be a lot of other content that we've not quite got to yet. So
Well, according to the scripts, there are. So let's see.
Jump.
Oh man. It's like, yeah.
it's like jumping through porridge.
It is like, it's just going to make doing any kind of precise jump almost impossible.
So one of the things they mentioned in the notes they submitted with this was later on there's going to be moving platforms. I don't fancy our chances of that. Oh!
Oh!
Well done.
Oh! Right, use
So
W for up or down to move the platforms.
Okay.
Ah! Oh,
Interesting.
Move it
Just
up.
have a little break.
brief moment of respite.
Wait,
Right, so
but you-
WS moves up or down.
But can you move that one
Can
now
you
that you've
move that up
jumped it?
now?
Oh,
You're
it
gonna
says
move that-
A and D to select the platforms.
okay,
A
non-frozen
and D, right,
platforms.
to
So,
select the previous or next non-frozen.
so the
Ah,
yellow. So you're only going to be able to swap between those
Oh.
two.
So I can swap between these two and
But
move
now you're
up
stuck.
and down. But now I'm stuck and I don't have a double jump.
actually,
you do
I
have
do
a
have a
double
double
jump.
jump.
Hang on, can you?
Oh no!
Frozen.
No!
Now the $1 million question: are we going to start from
The
the beginning?
Please start us from the second bit.
Yes.
Yes!
Okay, good.
Right, okay.
So that is one thing that we sort of.
Ah! I find it really difficult to select the platforms. Christ. Right, so A and D changes the platforms around.
Yep, so yellow one...
WS moves them up and down.
Right, okay, so I don't even have to jump, so I can go to the... Ah! The fact it it reselects them as well is kind of a bit bizarre. God!
So that's interesting. So that's a
yeah.
mechanic that... So endless runners are normally just a one-button thing and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
It is interesting. It's really difficult because you're actually controlling two different things.
It's actually three different things because you have jump, you have up, down, and you have selection.
Yeah,
so there's
I'll let Tom have a go.
multiple coordinations.
So
of those fingers.
basically, you've got with the space button, you're controlling the character and the jumping.
Yes.
With your other hand, you're controlling the level.
Two other things, yes.
And the other thing that happens is when it freezes it automatically moves you to the next one. So actually moving up and down between them, you're really good at this, Tom. Blimey. Moving up and down between the platforms is really difficult.
No,
Although you're proving me wrong. Presumably you can jump.
No, he wants to freeze it.
Oh, hang on, there we go.
Oh, how did you go backwards?
I bumped into a wall.
Oh, that's interesting. So you
That's
obviously
so
have
if
some
I-
sort of momentum.
If I just... Nope.
So that's
That's interesting.
frozen.
Tutorial complete.
Jump off this platform to start the main game. Alright, so at least we get to see the main game.
Okay.
Persistence.
So how do we feel about the tutorial level? Oh,
So I think
Nope.
that
Yeah.
you know, so having to start at the beginning of that tutorial, although the fact that you could start to the middle of the tutorial
Yeah.
once you've gained the privilege of changing the platforms was nice.
yeah, so that was one thing we sort of mentioned in some of the lectures is really making sure you've got sort of relatively quick iteration cycles when you're tutorializing your players.
I mean, it's a very basic control set, right? It is, you know.
It is quite complicated to use altogether, so...
Oh yeah, it really is.
So it is good that they make sure you can do the jumping to start with before they introduce this. That's quite nice.
I mean, it has to be said that jumping mechanic is a problem.
Yeah, it
really is.
It definitely feels like that could use a little bit of tightening up.
Oh, see, I just pressed I literally sent the signal to the wrong hand.
Yeah.
So my brain just isn't up to it. Okay, so overall presentation then. We sort of said a little bit about. Oh, that's hard. A little bit about the fact that I quite like the bottom thing, the danger. That's quite nice. It sort of
Yeah, I think overall,
differentiates a bit.
I think overall it's pretty simple, but what is there works relatively well, apart from the jumping. Like it's quite clear which platform's highlighted. It's quite clear which platforms are locked.
Yeah. I'm not convinced that the ability to swap between platforms is useful.
Well, it looks like sometimes you really do need to sort of jump a few platforms ahead to move the ones that are really far away from you.
But it's just, I mean, maybe it's just my brain. I just can't cope with choosing a platform at the same time as jumping. But I said to me, it feels like that double mechanic of jumping and moving platforms up and down is
A little bit working against each other.
is enough. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So the tutorial, they bring up the actually age. Do you want to have a go? This is hard. So the tutorial, I mean, I think they it's simple. They bring up the things as you go.
So yeah, there aren't a whole lot of controls for them to tutorialize.
No.
But actually, that's the other thing. Sort of the level design. I'm curious how the levels, like whether it is sort of like slightly procedural, or whether they've designed this in such a way that.
I mean,
you sort of have to
I get the
look
feeling
ahead.
that the level design could talk you into this a little bit better.
Yeah.
So they could teach you about. I mean, I suppose you do drop on from the beginning, which is quite good. So you can see right from the beginning that you've got an endless drop. So that does work. You don't have to be worried about dying from falling from a great height.
I am really pathetic at this game.
It is hard. It is a hard game.
So I do think that the tutorial introduces the multiple movements that you can do nicely.
Yeah, so the level design was the difficulty definitely seems to sort of like increase as you go through the tutorial.
It does.
But I think it would be nice if there was perhaps more of a curve to it.
Now, one of the things that the game design, the game notes actually states is that the avatar will speed up with every 10 points collected. I don't see points anywhere, which might just be that we have not...
So
Score 2.
Score 2, I see it, there we go.
It's not on the screen, yeah.
It's not on the screen, it's when you end up dying, or in between levels.
The further you get through the level, the faster you go.
Yes.
Which I don't think we're going to be able to tell unless we give Tom one last go, because he appears to be the only one who can actually do this. Go on, give it a go, Tom.
Let's try to speed him up.
See if we can go faster. So, I mean, I do really appreciate the fact that they... See, he's
really good at this.
He's really good at this.
Come on, Tom.
I do really appreciate the fact that they have mixed up the mechanics and they have done something a bit different.
Yes.
And I'm kind of trying not to feel badly about it just because I'm so bad at it.
I very nearly got 10 points.
You got us to 9.
Okay, so in terms of the core dynamic, what did they think their core dynamic was?
They thought that core dynamic was a race to the end.
I thought they said chase and evade.
Chase and evade, I'm so sorry.
Chase and evade.
Chase and evade.
And that's interesting. So, do you think it's chase and evade? Because you're not really chasing anything and you're not really evading anything. It's
purely a race to the end.
Well, or is it even that? Because you're not...
Because there is no end.
There is no
end.
It's endless running.
So it's more of a spatial reason, isn't it?
I would say so, especially given the whole mechanic of moving the platforms into the right space for you to be able to jump on them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think... I mean, they may have misidentified it, but I don't actually think that the game suffers from that. They've built the game as something which is about spatial reasoning.
Yes.
They've emphasised that.
I suppose it is cohesive.
And I mean, they have... I guess they have the bit where it speeds up, which I guess is a bit more chase and evade.
I know, chase and evade is normally there is some entity that you are trying to catch. So some of the examples we've talked about, things like Assassin's Creed, where you are actually chasing something, and the route is defined by that entity that you're chasing.
Yeah, I mean, I meant more along the lines of that's the only mechanic in the game that fits a chase and evade dynamic. But I actually think that in terms of... See, I'm so bad at this. I think in terms of actually designing to around that dynamic, they've done a pretty good job, actually. It's working really well. Trying to catch myself up. All right. So I think perhaps we should move on.
I agree.
Okay, so let's look at our next game, which is called...
Explorer.
Here we go.
So I wonder what the core dynamic of this game is going to be.
According to the game notes, this team believes they are building a survival game.
Okay.
Okay, perhaps they should have called it Survivor. But okay. All right, let's put it full screen.
Oh, I recognise these
Explorer.
assets.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Let's have a look at the controls first.
That's interesting. So controls.
Oh, this is... Guys, I hope you've got a tutorial level at the start of your game. This is not a tutorial level.
This is feeling very 80s. Alright, so I've got W for jump, AS left and right.
No, it's not S, it's D, left and right.
AD, sorry, yeah. And then open chest and shoot fire / ice is...
So you hit already, shift. Why are we shooting fire and ice? This is a thing that could be sort of explained to us through play, rather than just saying, yeah, you can shoot fire and ice.
Let's play and see what happens.
Okay, here we go.
There's me.
We have 3 lives.
I like the look. Nice parallax.
Okay, that is quite nice.
There is a timer going down.
So that'll be your...
So I quite like the fact that there's a skull and crossbones there. So it's saying, yeah, you'll die if you fall down here. Yeah. So it's very slidey. I also like the fact that they put that there so you have to collect it.
What did it do?
That's a good question.
I see no changes in timer or lives from
there's hit points floating above me, but because I'm on 100 already.
So it's...
this is another one where there's a big delay on the jump. It's not quite as bad as the previous one. So press jump. There we go.
Can we learn how to get up
Press
there?
jump.
Okay, so that water also has skull and crossbones in it.
Yeah.
So... how's your precision feeling?
Not so good.
Oh, that was... Okay, so there's a monster. Do you remember what button was shoot?
We try. It was. I think it was the shift. Shall I try it? See what happens. Oh, it's just sort of
That's
just waving my arm around. What happens if I press enter? That was open chest. No, there's. So I've got an arm wavy button. I can say, "Hello, monsters."
Maybe you need a gem to shoot a fireball. Maybe we should collect that gem and then shoot.
See that? That is good thinking.
Now
Right.
try a fireball. No, we're
No.
still just waving.
Good thinking. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh, you got a
That's-
5.
What? But I didn't do anything different.
maybe that's what the green gem is.
But I picked up the green gem last time. So do you think
Yeah,
the
but
green?
this
Do you think there was a delay? Do you think the effect wore off?
Yeah.
Why did I die?
Absolutely.
And then we can find out. Oh, hang on.
That's it. It doesn't show up.
I haven't
again.
come back again.
So
Oh,
maybe it's
because I've
just 'cause
so got my lives.
Hang on, just drop into there. Let's retry it. I want to see if we can jump.
Okay.
I've got.
You have a
I've
theory.
got a plan.
All right.
Go on then.
So
Go
let's
on. I will try my best. Not
collect
be
that gem and
totally
then jump
helpless.
straight up, and we'll see if we can get to that chest.
Ah. Okay. So I'm as you can tell. So as you can tell, the controls are
A little bit
fiddly.
floaty.
All right, now. Whoa!
There
See,
you go.
that is a thing that was not in the tutorial.
No.
And it took us this long to work
and
out
also,
what
I've
that did.
opened the
Now
chest.
remember, it's what button is it? Space or shift?
Oh, it was enter. I hit enter, and the chest opened, but nothing.
You passed in front of it.
All right,
But nothing seemed to happen,
But
and
what-
then I passed in front of it, and the gold disappeared out of it.
and
But there's
What-
nothing
but-
coming up on the screen to tell me.
but what's the point of that? Why have we collected this gold? We've
Yes.
been given no
So-
instruction about what was. Are we supposed to be collecting gems? Are we supposed to be collecting
Whoa.
gold?
Why do I still have a super jump as well?
Maybe
Does it
that was
last
the
until
gold.
you die? Maybe that gem
Okay.
lasts until you die.
Maybe there's what's that?
So
There's some
open
green.
it.
There's green bars in the top right
They've
corner.
been there for the whole time,
Do
actually.
you think they're my lives?
Oh, maybe
No,
no, because your
lives
lives
is
are
up
your
there.
left.
So there's a
Right.
blue gem down there. So
Let
maybe
me
that does
let me
something.
let me open this chest. Oh, right. Okay.
But see, now we've got to drop down.
Oh,
you can't
no.
see where we're going to drop, and you died from clipping through a platform.
No, he died because his time ran out.
Oh, I
There
see.
is a timer ticking
Oh, where's
down.
the timer?
It's
At the
right in the
top.
middle of the screen.
Okay. I hadn't even noticed that. Okay.
So here's
I'm
is
going
this-
to hand over to someone who is more competent again.
let's-
Tom, you are rapidly becoming our go-to competent guy. Right, here we go.
But see, there's absolutely no indication
no
that
no.
does that. I'm still confused what we're meant to be doing. Like, are we meant to be collecting?
No.
Because it says survival, but
So what's the gold do?
wait, what do the gems do?
You still
Do you
haven't
have to
collected
press?
the
Do you
gems.
press enter again? Maybe.
Try enter
Yeah,
again.
it looks like
You've got to press enter twice to pick them up. Okay.
that seems. But, see that
Alright, now
jump?
you've died. Can you jump as high again?
So I can't get back up there.
So we can't get
Oh,
up
I
there.
see what you mean about the controls. That's
It's very, very slidey. So you have momentum, so you don't stop instantly, and also there is a delay on the jump, and both of those things are a real problem. And combined together, it makes the controls really hard. Right, so let's
no.
try the blue gem.
no. So
Right, okay, so
one other minor issue I've got
yep.
is see, and now I can't go this way because with the crazy jump I can only get up here. One minor issue I've got that happens a lot, especially in these first games, is and now I've got to try and land on the thing I can't see. Is when you do die and restart, it's a really good idea to make your continue button be something that your player is already pressing.
Yes.
So right now I've got my hands on the keyboard, but when I
Yeah.
want to restart, I have to move to the mouse.
Yeah, and in fact, not only are they...
Ooh,
not only,
those green lines have changed into
Into
a.
a blue snowflake.
oh, so maybe you can fire.
That-
Press the shift key. Do you remember the old shift key?
Hey!
That thing is moving very fast for the gaps that it's in.
Can you shoot through this?
Oh, those green lines are the power that I got. I see. So that was the jump power, I
And
guess.
now you've got the
okay.
shoot power.
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
It doesn't
It kinda
look like
makes
you can shoot
sense.
through
No, 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 no.
you don't-
Oh, ho, ho.
Wait,
So
that's
what's
is that a
that?
map?
That looks
That's
like a
not a
map.
skull and crossbones.
I am,
That's-
however, stuck.
No, can't. Okay. Here we go.
Nope.
Nope, still stuck. So I wonder what the clipping boundaries are on that.
There we go.
Oh no, they are straight. Okay. Okay. Which way?
Again, no indication which way is
Yep.
a good way to go. So one of the things we mentioned in the level design lecture was if you are going to give the player a choice, make it a meaningful choice.
Yes.
Because, see, now it turns out that, and I ran out of time.
Okay.
So it looks like, so presumably that red gem is the fireball power. I'm
Yeah.
guessing the other thing is an extra life.
Could be.
You mean the thing on the bottom there?
Yeah,
I thought that might be a bad guy.
maybe.
So I'm back. So the clipping is a bit of a problem as well. I keep getting caught on.
Yeah. So that does definitely seem to be an issue Unity has sometimes with platformers.
Yes. So very. I even bother to go up there. I see now the problems. I didn't
But the
even
problem
know
is
I should.
Well, you're also going to struggle not to do that now you've got the huge jump.
That's true.
But that jump is
geez.
far too large because then you land somewhere you can't see, and they ask you to do like a precision platformer.
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh dear.
Okay.
So
All right.
this-
So let's
right,
go through it. So what do we think about the overall quality of this? I mean, it looks really nice. I think that the use of a nice asset set, makes a massive difference.
Yep.
Little features like the parallax, that works really well.
Yeah. So the parallax I feel is a bit too parallaxy because it's sort of
It does look like I'm actually spinning around a circle.
yeah, and it's a bit sort of disorientating when you're trying to focus on the character in the foreground. But
that is true, but I still like the parallax.
yeah, it's a nice touch. I think it could be tweaked a little bit more, but the fact that they've included it is nice.
The controls,
The
again,
controls
are
are
a real
pretty-
problem.
Yeah.
And I think it is worth saying we do appreciate that this is difficult, actually, getting the controls right for a game like
Yeah,
this.
there's a surprising amount of tuning that actually has to go into
Yeah.
something like this to make it feel right, and it's a very difficult thing to quantify. Okay, level design and tutorials.
Yeah, so okay, so what's actually happened? Have they given us any feedback in the level at all?
The only feedback we've received is gaining the 3 lines or the half a snowflake up in the right
So
corner.
really, there is no tutorial here, is there?
No.
No,
They've
there's some
basically
controls, but there is no tutorial.
The only thing they've done is they have spaced out the
So
monster we're evading doesn't come till later.
so there is that. They give you the ice gem or whatever it is,
Yep,
and then they give you a monster to try it out on. That bit is quite good.
it is.
And the
That's
monster's
true.
sort of contained there. You have to get
That's
the gem,
true.
and then you can see that monster patrolling.
and equally they give you the super jump at a point where you need. So
Where you need
there is
super
some
jump,
timings there.
Yes.
So they have tried to use the level design to emphasise the gameplay.
There are still some missing elements. What do coins give us?
Yep.
Yes.
That haven't been explained fully by what
What-
we've been able to reach.
Or even what we're trying to achieve.
So this is the thing. So I guess moving on to the design. Did you just respawn off the side of the?
I'm not sure whether I might have done some sort of jumpy thing off the edge.
But yeah, the sort of design and the core dynamics. So they said this was survival. This is not survival.
No.
No.
This is. Well, it's difficult to say because they've not told us what the goal is. It could be collection.
Yeah,
Could be collection.
there's an element of I mean,
Could be race to the end.
I mean, we've
So-
discussed this before that sometimes platformers it's quite difficult because they have so many combinations of things.
And that's the thing. I think they've tried to include too many of these things. So I think it's probably race to the end because that time
Yes.
is just so short.
Yes, I would say that.
Is that
I
right?
agree with that. I'm
think
talking about race to the end. I really want to get on with it.
Yeah. So you focus on getting to the end. And that's it. If it's a case of you've got to collect all of these gold coins, then A, that's probably a bit unforgiving, and B, then it's definitely a collection game. It's interesting that they've decided to go with a health bar as well, because that's
Yes.
not usually a thing.
No,
If you think sort of back to like Mario and things like that, touching an enemy is usually instant death. So in a way, it's nice that they've tried to be a bit more forgiving with
right.
that.
I'm actually just going to try and get to the end.
But now you're going to jump through that water.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. So once you
That
have a
jump is
power,
ridiculous.
once you have a power, you can't do anything about it. Can you?
No.
And
And your
I get
power
that.
gets overtaken by whichever.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, I agree. I think
Is that life? Is that always in there?
It
no,
was sitting on the other
it
side
was on the other
last time.
side. I appear to have got it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I think I think I should stop talking and concentrate on that. Hang on. Oh, is that a restart point?
This is a restart
okay.
point, so you've passed the sign.
Okay. Although I'm sure I restarted. I passed the sign before and it didn't restart me.
I think that might be because you ran out of time.
Yes, you ran out of time that last time.
Okay.
Which you're going to as well.
Yeah, right up here. Okay. So, yeah, I think kind of.
So presumably that red ones are fireball, but you know how I said before that it was nice that they'd put that specific enemy there so you could test out that ice power?
Yes.
There's nothing here.
Not only is there no enemy, then there's a green gem right after it, which is immediately going to overwrite that power before we've even used it.
Sorry.
Adding bookmarks.
Adding bookmarks. It's a problem with the WebGL build, right?
So yeah. So overall it looks quite nice, but the controls are a bit sticky. They haven't really tutorialized it properly, and they don't seem to have a clear idea of what the core dynamic is in this game.
No, it feels a bit confused, doesn't it?
Like there's a lot of elements that they've tried to put together, but I think if they're sort of focused on one of these different aspects, either the collection or the race to the end, then it'd be a lot more.
Yeah, I think I agree. Okay, perhaps we should move on. Right. Okay, so our last game
is Autorush.
Autorush. Okay, let's see how this goes. So let's load them up. That's interesting.
So it looks like it's been built for mobile.
Yeah, so I will. I don't think it'll let me zoom out any more than that.
Do they? It does.
Well,
do they mention anything about that in the notes? Why they've gone for this resolution?
There we go.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a sort of
there's still a
mobile game.
Actually, there's a full screen. Let's pop that up. I'll go with that.
The game notes do not.
No, let's not go with that. Okay, we'll keep it in this view. Right. So.
Okay, so do we want tutorial or do we want help?
That's a very good question. Use the arrows to drive. Okay. Yeah. That's an interesting one, isn't it? So presumably the help is there to so if you've had that as a refresher, but it's quite confusing from the beginning. Alright, so collect coins to score points. So yes. Although being at the bottom of the screen, I didn't actually notice that until I'd already started driving.
What is the blue thing in the? What happens if you
take the blue pill to? Oh no, it's gone again.
So the big problem here, and it's why I crashed, is that my attention is at the top of the screen.
Absolutely, you've got to look at the bottom.
And those things coming up at the bottom are blue, so I can't see them very well. And actually, when I started, I didn't even realise they were there because I was looking up where it says tutorial. And in my peripheral vision, that blue bit doesn't show up at all.
So take the blue pill to be immune
you're
to
now
crashes.
immune to crashes.
But see, the thing is, you went past that last time because it's hidden amongst the coins. Absolutely. It's really unobvious, and then you just lost that bit of the tutorial. It scrolled on to the next bit.
Yeah. So instead of keeping asking me to do it until
you've proven it. Yeah.
So I wonder what happens if I crash into something. I'm going to be able to destroy stuff.
Only when you're blue.
Okay. So my score also my score also appears to be off of the top. I quite like the background of this. That's quite nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's try again. So
you've also got a timer up there, but I don't know if that.
So the movement's this again. It kind of gives you momentum.
So again, it's one of these endless games that's a case of or at least it looks like one that's survive until you crash into a car, but also collect coins to get points. It's like, okay, which one are you judging me on?
Yeah,
are you judging me on how long I've survived?
Yes.
Or on how much I've collected?
Yeah, that's actually a real problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think you can incorporate things like coins into those sort of endless runners, but they have to have a kind of a secondary effect. So coins that you can swap for power ups or something.
Control your car behind the power ups. You can.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a nice little touch.
You can. All right, I'll give it one more go and then I'll
go for the main game.
Yeah. So
at least the tutorial does at least start slowly. There's no cars. There's just a few streams of coins to get you moving.
Yep.
Before anything, the only problem I think is, as we said before, that blue pill shows up right when it when the words say blue pill, and then even if you miss it, it doesn't show up again.
But also it shows up and it's not in the line of coins.
Yeah.
So if it was at the end of a line of coins.
So you've just been told go and collect all of these coins. And
Yes.
then, so you keep collecting the coins and miss the other thing it's trying to tutorial.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a go and see what it actually looks like when you play it.
You score 2.
Okay, so so on the main game the score actually comes up.
It does when you die. Oh no, that's up at the top as well.
So the score goes up according to time, and then when you pick up coins you get more.
Okay.
Yes.
So actually it does combine the two.
But in that case, why have the time riddle?
Yes, because the longer you go in, the more opportunity you have to pick up coins anyway. That's true.
Well, no, just I mean, so you've also on the top left, you've got a like how long you survived in seconds. But if your score goes up,
You're right. So okay. Well, I can also move up and down the screen.
why would you want to?
Because
I suppose
I want to die more quickly, evidently.
I suppose there might be occasions where you can sort of. Those coins are physics enabled, aren't they? I thought that was just a little animation, but no,
I think
you can
so.
crash into them at super speed.
So here we go. So I can move around. All right. So what do we think of the overall quality? Let Tom have a play. I kind of.
It controls quite well. They're
It's not
like,
too
relatively
bad.
responsive.
It's a bit slidey, but
A
then
little
that's
bit, yeah.
that's okay. It's still responsive. It's a shame there aren't any sound effects, particularly for the collection.
Yeah.
I think collecting coins, just having a simple sound effect on the point of collection would have made a massive difference.
So something's happened to the score in this one. There is no score upgrade.
Oh, it's gone off the side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to take that to mean that I've got the best score. It's just, oh no,
yeah.
You have.
I did.
There's also something odd going on with the positioning of the cars. I'm wondering whether they always drive in lane. I think they do.
They seem to, yeah.
They always drive in lane, and there's not enough space to go between them
Is there not?
if there's two in the same lane.
It seems more
Which is a
Concord
little bit of
style.
a shame.
Yeah.
It would have been nice if they'd been just that little bit narrower, if you like, so you could fit between them.
Yeah, it does feel like there are going to be occasions where if they happen to spawn 4 cars at once, then
Yeah.
it's interesting that as well that there are sort of 2 streams of traffic, because obviously being on the right side of the screen is harder because.
Yes.
But like look at where I am now. The left side is completely blocked up by.
But then they don't seem to do anything with that. So what you'd imagine is you might put more stuff on the harder side.
Mm.
So you kind of have a choice. You either go on the hard side and collect more things, or you go on the easier side, and kind of have sort of fewer options to get points, but you might last long. Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay,
core
so-
dynamic. What have they said for the core dynamic?
Unfortunately, they have not listed a core dynamic in their game notes.
Ah, interesting.
Okay. They do say an endless game, so they're obviously
They do.
aware it's an endless runner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this one I would definitely lean towards being more of a collection game because.
It's how you score.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So there's definitely elements. You're definitely evading stuff. But yeah. I mean, could they have done more to emphasise the collection aspects of the game?
Yeah, either with sort of additional power-ups like the blue thing, or like you say, being more. See there, if I hadn't had that blue thing, then I would have absolutely been stuffed. So I don't know if these cars are randomly generated, or
if
whether
they're based on
there's
Yeah.
some sort of progression of difficulty.
So not a bad game, and they do have a tutorial element to it.
It does.
But it's just a shame that it appears that the timing isn't great, and also it appears in the wrong place on the screen, not where your attention is focused.
Yeah,
I don't know whether you get that from watching, but when you're playing,
you're always looking at that top
you barely see the stuff at the bottom. And yeah, okay. Shall we move on?
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay. So in fact, that was our last game. Yeah.
Oh, it was.
All right. Okay. Great. All right. So that's our first 4. So we shall see you again shortly for another video.